Hi everyone, welcome to the Python Fundamental series. In previous video, we understood that what programming is, why Python is so popular, and what are the applications of Python. We also started building our project of student management system. So today we will be starting with the first practical step towards that project. So imagine a student joins our academy. Okay, so a new student came and let's say his name is Vijay and his age is 25. His marks are 90. He's a bright student. Okay. So attendance wise, 85%. Okay. And if he has paid the fees, yes. Okay. So if we have this information with us, how we can store this information or how Python will have this information stored. So the answer is variable and data type. So starting with the first thing, variable. So what variable is? Let's say think of variable as a storage box or a container. You can think of variable is a storage box. Okay. So let's say we have to store name. So this is our one container. Another we store age. So this is our second container. The third we will store marks. So in this way, in different containers, we can store different information and Python will remember this information. Instead of we remembering it ourselves, we store the information inside the variable so that we can utilize throughout the code wherever we require it. Okay. And talking about the data type, what data type is? Okay. So data type is nothing but type of information we store. Okay. So let's say we copy all of this. If you see, name is something that we store in a string format. Okay. Oops. Let me write it down. So it is in the string format. In similar way, the age can be in the number format. Marks can also be in the number format. So you can see these are different type of data. So the data type will be, this is the text. In normal English, we call it as text. Okay. So different data types in Python. We have string, then we have integer, then we have float and Boolean. These are the data types in Python that we have. Okay. So string is nothing but a text information. Like let's say Vijay is one of that. Integer is like 123 999. It's a numeric one. Okay. Float is like 99 point. The whole number is, sorry, this is the whole number and this is the decimal numbers that we store. Okay. Like we have to store 99.9 or 120 125.6, something like that. Boolean is basically true or false. So these are the data types in Python. Okay. So talking about our project again. So what are the things that we can store? We have a student name, we have age, marks, attendance, fees paid. So these variables we can create. Okay. So let's go to the Jupyter notebook and create the variables. So we will create a notebook, day2 variables and data types dot ipynb. Remember guys, ipynb is the extension for Jupyter notebook. Okay. So now we have day2. We will have a cell. Okay. So let's say I want to create the first variable student name and store as name Vijay. Okay. So select the kernel. Now it will execute. Okay. It displays nothing because the value is stored inside the Python. Okay. Now if I go and print like we did in the first video, but this time we won't be writing directly Vijay. We will be using the name of the variable to print that output. So you can see the output is printed now as Vijay. Okay. And this equal to is called as assignment operator. Let me write the comment. The hash is used to write the comment. The comments are not the executable part of the program, but they are providing the additional information in relation to the program. Okay. So here equal to is operator. Okay. And whatever we want to store the string, that is enclosed in the double quotes. Also, we can enclosed in a single quote. There are three methods. Let's say I want to write student name. Let's say I will create three students. Student 1, student 2, student 3. Okay. So I can write in the double quote. I can write in the single quote and also triple quote. Okay. Okay. And we will execute this. We will copy. Okay. We will change the variable name with our variable. Make it student 2, student 3. Okay. Now we will execute this. You can see all the three names are printed. So what is the purpose of keeping this single quote, double quote? Let's say you want to write a statement, for example, you want to write a statement where there is double quote inside your statement and that you want to print. So if you are using double quote outside, it will give you an error, invalid syntax, because Python itself is not able to interpret it that where your statement is ending. Is it ending here or is it ending at the end? So that's why you can use a single quote in this scenario. And your statement that is using double quote can be enclosed inside it. Okay, now if you execute this statement, let me take it to the new line. Okay, if I take it, okay, if I execute this, now I am able to execute. See, and similar scenario, let's say your statement is having a single quote inside it. And if you use the single quote outside, it will give you an error. So in this scenario also, you can use the double quote. So it gives you an flexibility. Okay. So that is the reason the three methods are there: single quote, double quote, and three single quotes. Okay. So coming to this was the first data type, string. Coming to the next, oops, next data type, that will be integer. And remember guys, we do not have to declare what data type we are using. Python is smart enough to automatically detect based on the value that you assign to a variable. Okay. So let's say we want to store student age is 20. Okay. If we execute this and let's print that. So you will be able to now see 20. So you don't have to remember what the student age was. You just have to use this variable and automatically from the memory, Python will be able to fetch that age. Okay. Now coming to the third data type, student marks. let me have that. Third data type is float. So float is basically for the decimal numbers, and a student got 85.5 marks. Okay, and we print that. Okay, so you will be able to see we are able to store the floating numbers also. The other data type is Boolean. Okay, so student has paid the fees or not, that we can also store using true or false. Remember guys, Python is a case sensitive language. So if you write a small t, it will give you an error. Okay, see, it will give you an error, but you have to write a capital T. Similar way for the false also, you have to write capital false. If I print that, oops, okay. If I write, it will give me the output. Okay. So these are the data types that we have. Okay. And we also have a data type that is called as real number for storing the real number basically. Okay. So let's say I have to store a imaginary number. Let's say I have to store a imaginary number. Why the keyboard is not typing? Just allow me a second to fix this thing. Okay. Let's say I have to store a complex number. Okay. 3 plus 4j is the number that I have to store. This is basically a complex number, real and the imaginary part. Real plus, so this we have to store. Okay. So if I write, let me save this first and print it. So you can see the number is now saved, and if I go and type number.real, it will print 3.0, and if I write number.imaginary, it will print 4, because this is the real part and this is the imaginary part for this one. Okay, so this data type is rarely used, although in the real world applications, but the primary data types are this one: string, integer, float, and boolean. Okay, so this we have done, and now we understood how to store the values. Let's say we want to change a value in a variable. Supposingly we stored the student name. Okay, by mistake I wrote Vijay, but Vijay is not the name of that student. And The name of the student is Vijay Raj. Okay. If I save it, we will be able to update the name of the student, and if we print now, it will print Vijay Raj. So this is how simple it is to update the variables. Okay. And let's say we have another thing to update the marks of students. Have we stored the marks? No, we haven't. So let's create a variable student marks 45. Okay. And we store it. Now let's say we want to update the marks of the student from 45 to 95. He scored better in the next exam and the marks are updated. So if I check this, first I stored as 45, and if I print here, it will print 45. And if I print here, after updation, it will be printing the updated values. So basically, this is how these are printed. Let's say we have to print in a formatted way all these variables in a print statement. So there are a couple of ways. So considering the example of the marks only, so if I say marks and after comma, I can write the name of the variables, student marks. So this is one of the way we can print the variables. Another method is using the f string. Okay. So let's say I have to print. I will add a f at the beginning of the statement, then write marks, and in curly braces, whatever the variable name is that I will put, the Python will be automatically fetching that variable name, whatever the variable name mentioned in the curly braces, and will print the value for that. Here you can see 95 is automatically printed. Let's say this value changed to a 55. And if I try to print now, here if I print, the value will also get updated. So this is the way how we can print the variables. Okay. So just revising, today we created the first building block for our student management system. We can now store the information about a student, but there is a challenge. Let's say a student's name is text and sometimes we have to search it. We have to convert it to uppercase. We have to format it, or we have to, let's say we stored a full name of a student. For an example, we stored the name as Vijay Rangwani. Okay. And now I have to make programmatically possible that the program should give me the first name as Vijay and last name as Rangwani. How we can do that? So that we will be learning in our next video, strings. Okay. So for today's video, this is it. We learned what variable is, why variables are needed, the data types that we have, how to update a variables, and how to store the information of student in different variables. Okay. If you found this video helpful, please keep on watching this playlist. Thank you and have a nice day.